I'm Amy Robinson, and I'm running for the city alderman position here in Ladonia. Okay, I want to run for city office to give a voice to the citizens because I notice now that they don't have much of a voice, and when they do, sometimes they get cut off. And I want to reach out to more people in the community, whether we set up an email so that the people that can't make it, because we have a lot of single parents that work at night or just work in general at night, and they can't make the official city council meetings. And I am actually originally from Hunt County. I'm a Navy veteran, and I moved to Ladonia in 2018, and I've been here a total of 6 years. Well, originally what inspired me is I have friends that actually are in other cities that actually have the framework to do that. And so I started attending some of our city council meetings and noticing that not always were our citizens heard. And so for myself, I thought I could be more of a voice for them and be there for them, let them at least get their voice heard, not always answered necessarily 100% the way that they want it, good, bad, or ugly, at least get them an answer when before they might not have gotten an answer at all. Actually, right now, we have a few pressing issues, but it is the roads, of course, and it's also, whether the citizens realize it or not, it's the budget. We need to make the foundation of the city itself, from the employees on up, strong, so that whether that be training, for our water person or for our front desk person that helps with the water bills. If they need the training, get the training that they need so that we can start from the ground up in the base. Economic growth actually is kind of somewhat tied to our local businesses. The more that we get local businesses, the better the growth is. And also with our Airbnbs, we have some now, and I know we'll have more later. I think that just supporting, because it brings in revenue to the city, that's not the main thing, but it also brings a community together if we can all start using the local communities. You have to drive 20, 25 minutes. If we had more small businesses here, we could help support them, and then they can, when we bring in people for the lake, they will support them as well. And I think that's huge, that we don't get big like Fate. Or one of those places like that we keep it small. I was looking at this for a few days ago, and our infrastructure, of course, needs a lot of help, and that's what I keep pounding at the grants, because if we can get money in to get the help for that, as well as, but not all the infrastructure is also telecommunications, it's also internet. And I know we kind of take a backseat to the towns around us where internet is concerned, and is where telecommunications come in. And I think with the lake going in, that is an opportunity for us to go to our providers and say, hey, this is an area that's going to grow, and sit down, or go to other towns as well and sit down with their city council and say, hey, how did you get this in here when Bodark's coming in? How can we do better about our infrastructure and get ready for what's coming in? I think that's a big thing, is to collaborate with other areas to get the answers. My thing is, if you don't know the answer, find it. Go find it. Reach out to people that know or that can help you. The citizens to feel like they're heard. We get a lot of, I have seen it, I've seen it in meetings where a citizen gets up and has their 3 minutes, and they get it out just in time and they're cut off, but they're also sometimes made to feel like they shouldn't have said anything. And I hate for a citizen to feel like that. Even though that city council might not be able to help that citizen, I don't feel like they should have been basically ashamed to say anything. I think everybody deserves a voice, at least to be heard. And I think that, like I said, with email, if we could set up a local email box for the city, and the council monitor it, and not wait 2-3 weeks to get back to this person. Just say, hey, I received your email. I hear you. We're going to talk about this, and I'll get back to you. Even if we cannot agree for that person or do that for that person, at least we get them the answer, and we don't just leave them kind of hanging out there waiting. Yes, talking with the Fannin County Sheriff Department, that we've already got some talks in the works, but actually, hopefully, after election and everything's kind of settled down and the new group is in, if elected, talking to Fannin County and sitting in their office, not asking them to come to us because it will take a little bit longer, going to them, making a meeting and sitting down and see what they can suggest, getting the funding, trying to find the funding. We need a local police officer. And I think a lot of people in Ladonia are like, no, we don't need a police officer, because they don't want them basically watching them. And I think that what some people might be missing is, if we have, Miss Smith who has a heart attack, our volunteer fire department, they're volunteer and they might be working. You have a police officer who's trained, who can respond, who also has a mic on his chest, who can call ambulances and call other police people from sheriff's department as a backup, or an accident for that matter. He would have the resources and it can get here quicker and maybe save that person's life versus us not having anyone in our area. And relying on, our neighbors are great, but relying on a neighbor who may or may not know what to do. Environmental and state sustainability. I know that just from other towns, when we have the opportunity to have our town grow, we just don't want it to grow too large. And we don't want to bring in big corporations that could jeopardize our sustainability in the area and jeopardize, what we have here, and they may be short term and it may be wonderful for the taxes at that moment. But then what happens if that manufacturer closes, or also you have to worry about the roads that they're driving on. And I think that there has to be a lot of thought that goes into something like that. And I would try to steer clear of any big manufacturing plants, or any big plants for that matter, coming in. Keeping it smaller and making our community better, I think is my goal. And that's how I would want to see. I would want us to draw, the plans and policies that if we have someone coming in, that this is with the criteria that they need to meet. I think it's important. I think it's important for us to realize, we are all not going to agree, unfortunately, and we're all not going to be best friends, and that's okay. But when it comes down to it being part of a city council or a mayor, we're not here for us. We're here for the town. So whatever my personal beliefs are or someone else's personal belief, that should be off the table. We're here to handle what needs to be handled with the city. We also need to have meetings behind closed doors to be ready for those meetings, so that we know exactly what we're going to talk about. And then when a citizen comes up, we have the time to listen to what they need on top of what we're trying to accomplish for the evening. I think that's huge. And I think working also with local areas, getting ideas from Honey Grove, getting ideas from Wolf City on things that they've done, our towns that are closer to our size, I think that's going to be a huge thing. The whole reason I'm here is for the citizens of Ladonia. I am not here for me. I have a job just like everyone else, and I hope to accomplish the grant writing piece, to be able to come in and find grants. There's so many grants out there that people don't know about, and I would love to start diving into that and digging and getting grants. A lot of people think grants are very quick. They take 2 years. So if we don't start them, we'll never get them. And so I am hoping with your vote that I am able to do that. I'm also a huge supporter of our volunteer fire department. I myself don't know at this moment how we can help them other than what we already do. I know that there's a lot of committees out there. I know the chamber, and I know there's a couple other committees that will help support. We can do different things throughout the year that maybe can donate more money to them. But I think they're important. I mean, they volunteer, they don't get paid, they stay up a lot of hours. And if our houses catch fire, they're there. You know, they're right there. They're there to help. And I think we need to do that for the community. I don't think as a city council we should be at odds with our volunteer fire department. I think we should encompass them into our group and our family. I would appreciate your vote if you would come out on May 4th or do the early voting. We can't do it without you. We can't make any changes to our city without your vote. I'm Amy Robinson, and if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to discuss them with you.